Welcome to Noita, a 2D roguelike where every pixel is simulated down to the smallest grain of sand, and not a single one is the same. The only thing not simulated? The copious amount of pain you will feel playing this game. At its core, the sole purpose of Noita is to crush your spirit down to molecules and make you never want to play video games again because the people who coded this game crawled directly from the pits of hell. But it is pretty fun. The point of the game is to get through multiple floors to reach the final boss at the bottom. But to do this, you have to face all kinds of monsters along the way, like frogs, zombies, robots, and turtle people, that most of the time, if given the chance, will jump you like a pack of meth addicts looking for spare change. The game begins with you, a small cloaked sorcerer armed with only 2 wands and a bottle, standing at the mouth of a gigantic cave. With a tall tree and cliff blocking your way, it seems the only path forwards is down. Upon entering said cave, a location will pop up, signaling the beginning of your journey. And now the suffering begins. You'll quickly realize how unforgiving this game is after playing it for about 10 minutes. For example, it's important to recognize the difference between toxic sludge and acid because one of them gives you cancer and the other almost instant kills you. It's important to know what spells a wand has before using it, because shooting a lightning spell in water doesn't mix well with your well-being, and every living creature within a mile of you wants to take a bite out of you no matter how small. Sometimes inanimate objects want in on the fun too, with rocks falling on you to take revenge for their fallen brothers and sisters who were turned into sidewalks, gravel, and modern art. After braving through the mines, you reach what is essentially a rest area where you can replenish your health, buy wands and spells, and get perks. But you probably have no money as you were just mugged for all you're worth by a 1-foot-tall spider and a ball of living slime. Now that we've talked about the basic premise of the game, let's get into the weapons. In Noita, the wands you hold aren't the only option you have for ridding the area of your foes, but we'll talk about them in a bit. A lot of the time you can use your environment and the objects around you to kill any opposition that stands in your way. From kicking an explosive crate onto an enemy and blowing it up, crushing them with a heavy object, the possibilities are basically endless. You have all these offensive options at your disposal, but we haven't even scratched the surface yet. With wands and their many spell combinations, you essentially have the power to create whatever kind of weapon you want. And with a little help from RNGesus, you can make weapons that one-shot almost anything. For example, I once created a shotgun that fired beanbags with flaming trails as fast as I could click. I dubbed it the Counter Protester, due to its ability to disperse a group of unwanted people incredibly fast. But wands can work against you as well, and some of the combinations can be deadly if you don't know what they do. A wand that shoots giant saws sounds like a good idea, but when those saws turn around to chop you in half, you might want to reconsider using it. A wand that shoots a bolt of lightning sounds overpowered, but shooting it near a metal surface turns you into a pile of fried meat. Basically, it's a roll of the dice when using a random wand because it will either end up being good or will disembowel you. Although it is fun to be able to create a weapon that acts like you just ripped a minigun off an A10 Warthog and outfitted the barrel with flame tubes. I feel like this game has a secret mechanic coded in that whenever you start having fun, the game can tell and just throws some random BS at you to try and kill you. The game seems to have a mind of its own at times, but it doesn't take away from the experience. Now let's talk about one of the largest parts of this game, the secrets. What I've told you so far about the game is pretty much the bare minimum, as I'm trying to make this as simple as possible. There are so many secret items, locations, and events that I'm pretty sure not all of them have been found in-game yet. Remember that big tree from the start of the game? In the center of that tree is a flute, only accessible if you climb up the tree, break the egg to summon a giant worm, and lure the worm to bore through the tree. I mean, who'd think to do that on purpose? And that's an easy secret compared to some of the stuff hidden around the world. If you wanted, you could go to the moon, find out it's made of cheese, which you can then eat to gain your hunger back. You can eat the moon. Now, what if I told you that in Noita, there are parallel worlds that exist within a single playthrough, meaning you can access multiple playthroughs in a single run. This allows you to go through a world that is almost exactly the same in structure, then lets you do it again if you have the resources, essentially creating an infinite loop of power scaling for your character that only ends when you get bored and quit. Anyway guys, Noita is a fun game and you should go play it if you like roguelikes, 2D art styles, and masochism. It gets a 7.5 out of 10. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so I don't fall into a deep state of sadness. Thanks, and I'll see you later.